welcome back to Middle-earth Quest. This time we're going to be doing Eleanor's turn. She's down here in Minas Tirith, and the Black Serpent is in Isgileath. He's moved up. So she is going to be traveling through the map, and the first thing that happens on a hero turn is called a rest step. And I'll explain that. We'll go over to Eleanor's character card, have a look at everything. But just know right now she's in Minas Tirith. She will be deciding where to move in Middle-earth and what to do. So let's go over to her character card and we'll begin her turn. Okay, so I'm zoomed a little bit out here so we can see things. Now remember, she has her starting quest, which is to go to Onphalos. So she can do that for movement, and her 6 cards that she drew. At the end of the Sauron turn, there are symbols in the bottom right corner, which of course will correspond to the links between locations on the board of Middle-earth. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pick up the cards that she has, and we're going to go over to the board, and then she is going to do movement. So for a rest action, which is the first part, of course, of the turn, if she had any cards in her rest pool, she could take them, mix them in with her life pool, shuffle them together, but then one of Sauron's tokens would have to move to the left. So let's go back to the board, and we're going to start to move. Okay, so I've collected Eleanor's cards, and of course they've got, like I said, the symbols at the bottom. She's here in Minas Tirith. You know, something's brewing over here in Mordor, as usual. And she has to decide where she wants to go. And I think what I'm going to do, she's going to move from Minas Tirith to Dunharrow, and to do that she has to play one card into her rest area that has a hill symbol. She has 2 options. She can play one card with a hill symbol to move one location, or she can play 3 of any other card. Well, she's just going to play one card with a hill symbol on it, so I'll just put it here. So now she's down to 5 cards in her hand, and she gets to move to this location. Now she wants to move to Edoras, so she needs another card with a hill token, or another 3 of any other card. So she's going to spend her other card with a hill, and she's going to move to Edoras. And now if we look here, this just has a 1, and it's kind of a rectangular symbol. This means she can spend 1 of any card. Let's tip this up a little bit. And so she's going to keep her plains cards because she's going to kind of want to use those in a bit. So she will spend this card, any 1 card, and she moves over here to this space. Now, she's in the same location as a character on the board. And I should mention that there's the move steps, so there was nothing in Dunharrow for her to encounter. There was nothing in Edoras. There's no tokens, no favor tokens, no excess amounts of influence, no minions, no monsters. So she was just moving. There's really nothing to encounter. In this space, however, there is Theoden. And so for the actual exploration of the area, there are a bunch of things we can do as a character. You can remove favor, which means if there's a favor token, you can pick it up. You can consult with a character, which is what Eleanor is going to do. You can trade with another hero. So if she was here with Argolad, they could trade favor, items, if they wanted to. And you can choose a dark path, which means you can just take a favor, but then you must also take a corruption. And you can only do that once on your turn. And you can complete a quest. So if you're in an area with a quest, she has a quest, she has to get to Onphalos. So that's, if she gets to Onphalos, she can complete her quest as part of the exploration. And she can discard plots. So if she gets to this location and she can fulfill the discarding of Sauron's plot, this one needs to be 3 favors, then she can discard it. So those are all the things you can do for exploring. So she is going to consult. Oh, and you can do them in any order, and you don't have to do them as well. So let's just take a look at Theoden. She can either collect 2 favor, or she can gain a horse item. What a horse does for you is it reduces the numbers in the spaces here by 1. So you're basically riding your horse. You can get around the Middle-earth a little quicker. But she's going to consult with Theoden, and she's going to take 2 favor tokens. So he goes back to the pool over there, and she collects 2 favor tokens. So she basically consults with him and gets some information and gets some favor from Theoden. Her turn does not end, though. She still has cards for movement, and now she's going to use one of the sun symbol cards right here to move from the Plains of Rohan over to Helm's Deep. There is a favor token there, which is part of Explore, one of the options. She can just pick that up. She now has 3 favor. So she has another sun symbol. Now she wants to eventually get down to Onfalos and do her quest. So she's going to spend that one, and she's going to move here. She has 1 card left. It's a forest symbol card. She could go to Fangorn if she wanted to spend that. That's her only option. Or she can just end her turn there, keep this card in her hand. And I think that's what she's going to do. So let's go back to her character area, and we'll show you how that works. Alright, so just to recap, these are the cards she spent to move. So these were the 5 cards, and they go up in the rest pool area right here. So those are spent. This is the 1 card she had left, so we're going to keep that in her hand. And she now still has a pretty hefty life pool sitting here. She's collected 2 favor from Theoden, and she got the 1 favor off the location on the board. So she has 3 favor right now, which is pretty good. Next turn, she probably will be able to make her way and complete her quest. So this is now sort of the end of her movement. And on a hero turn, you of course, I didn't really explain everything. There's also, let's just go through the steps. The first thing was rest step. So I kind of glazed over that, but next turn, because she has cards now in her rest pool, she could shuffle these in with these if she wanted to, but she has so much in the life pool, probably not going to do it next turn, but that's the first part of the hero step. The next is called the ambush step, and that means if there is a monster or a minion in the same space where the character starts, Sauron gets to ambush the character. Well, of course, that was not the case because she started in Minas Tirith. So I didn't really even talk about that step. And the next step in the hero phase, of course, is the travel step, which we've just done. So she's traveled across Middle-earth, and she's ended up in the Gap of Rohan, where she is now ending her movement. And so at the end of her movement, it is now time for an encounter. So she's spent her card. She's kept her 1 card. Let's go back to the board, and we will have her encounter, which will then end her turn. So let's go back and we'll do that. Alright, so after having traveled to the Plains of Rohan and consulted with Theoden and gone through Helm's Deep and got some more favor, she has ended up getting to the Gap of Rohan, where she's ending her movement. And now this is a light blue location. It's Rohan, and there is a deck of cards. These are encounter cards that have to do with that location. So you see the dark blue and the light blue in the cards, and I think there's 14 of these cards. So what we do for an encounter now is we take 3 of them off the top, and we're going to look at them, and we're going to see, okay, this is not a very good example because they all say any location. So any location in either Rohan or Gondor would apply. So what you're really doing is you're looking at the top of these cards and you're seeing which ones apply as an encounter for a character. Now, you do not get an encounter if you're in a perilous space, but she's not. She's just in the Gap of Rohan. And all of these apply. Now, there are other cards that have specific names and titles on them. So in this instance, next we're going to look at, okay, these cards all apply. Let's look at the lowest number. And the lowest number is 5. So that is going to be the encounter she gets. The other 2 just get discarded. I'll just put them face up on the bottom of that encounter deck. And let's get on with her encounter. And it says lies and deceit. It says, with an expression of malice and loathing, he addressed the crowd, and many listened. The time of the sea kings has passed. Resisting the east is not only futile, it will invite doom. It is. He didn't see my fist until it was too late. So Eleanor clocks him one. Grasping at his bleeding face, he turned to me, still shouting, "Who is this who needs quench the truth with blood?" And it says, if your wisdom equals or exceeds the total influence in your region, gain 1 favor and force Sauron to discard 1 random shadow card. So we're going to look at Eleanor's wisdom. She has a wisdom of 3. And does that exceed the total influence in the region? Well, right now, in the Rohan region, there's no influence at all. Sauron hasn't spread out that far. So indeed, that does happen. So she is going to gain 1 favor for clocking this loudmouth. And Sauron's going to have to randomly discard 1 of his shadow cards. So that was a pretty good encounter for Eleanor. So she's going to gain a favor. She now has 4, which is good. Okay, that's kind of how a character takes their turn. It was the first character turn of our playthrough. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me on the next video when we will get to Argalad, who's way up at the Woodland Realm, and he will get his hero turn. And then, of course, the following video will be right back to Sauron and his evil machinations. All right, thanks for watching.